Hi, I'm Dan Goody-Can, Superintendent of the Needham Public Schools. I'm standing today outside the Emery Grover building, which is where we house school administration and operations for the community. The Emery Grover building, which is over 120 years old, has served this community for so many years, first as the town's high school and more recently for school administration and operations. We refer to the Emery Grover building as the EG, and it's really a hub of in-person services for our students, our staff, and for our families. The building is antiquated. The shell and the structure of the building are solid and strong, but the interior, the program space, the systems, ventilation, heating, plumbing are all failing, and it's time to find an appropriate, efficient, and safe and healthy place for the school staff to work in person together on behalf of our students, our staff, and of course, on behalf of you and the community. And so, at the upcoming town meeting, you are going to consider design funds so that we can rehabilitate and renovate this building in the center of town where it's conveniently located for families so that we can continue to provide the in-person services and resources for teaching and learning, human resources and personnel, finance and operations, and of course transportation and nutrition. All of these services working together under the roof of this building in a cohesive, collaborative way provide the resources and the services that our families and students need to be successful. So let's go on inside and I'll show you what we do in this building and how we work together to benefit the Needham Public Schools. Inside the Emery Grover, the district focuses on three key areas: resources and planning for teaching and learning, operations and services for students, staff, and families, and leadership and governance for the schools and community. Now, in this area of our curriculum and student learning services, this is where teachers and instructional coaches discuss and plan curriculum. They often need to meet face-to-face in order to review and access physical curriculum materials, including books, sample kits, testing materials, and the like. This also is the home base for our curriculum coordinators for grades K to 8. They run collaborative meetings across grade levels in schools and professional development programs that frequently overflow in this and other office areas in the building. Within this conference room, which is the only conference room available in the building, there's high demand. It seats about 30 folks, but there is no way that we can hold large trainings in here, and so we often are finding ourselves looking around town for appropriate space. Sometimes we can find a school cafeteria, but this space surely is lacking. The Emery Grover has a combined production center and mailroom that accommodates the entire district. A lot of the work is done online. However, each day we receive and disseminate to every school the ingoing and outgoing mail and a variety of deliveries of different projects, resources, copies, and other materials that teachers and staff need for teaching and learning. This is where the large copying and assembling jobs are completed for schoolwork and for reporting purposes. Additionally, all mail is processed through this room. Within our Human Resources Department, there's typically a lot of traffic in this area of the building. This is where we interview job applicants. We provide intake services for new employees. We provide onboarding services. And of course, we provide for the in-person verification of documentation associated with eligibility for work and benefit enrollment assistance. Here we also have to maintain hard copies of files for over 1,000 staff. There are a variety of meetings with staff to address sensitive personnel matters, and so it's important to have the appropriate space to be able to meet one-on-one with someone or with a small group. In the registrar's office, otherwise known as our Welcome Center, we register students throughout the year who are entering new to the Needham Public Schools. This process involves the inspection of original identification documents to verify proof of residency and birth date, for example. The registrar also coordinates services for new families with the Offices of Transportation, Nutrition Services, Special Education, and English Language Learners, all of which are included in this building. That way, families have one stop to be able to register for school and get the information they need, for example, for lunch service, so that their children can be successful in school. Additionally, there are sometimes families who come in who need language assistance, and so we will provide the staff to walk them through the process of registering as necessary. The Emory Grover is also the home base for all of our school, bus, and van drivers. It's where they wait between runs, where they receive information about their routes, where training and team building occurs, and also where they can use the lunchroom as necessary. Many drivers do not use technology as a means of communication and need in-person interaction with the coordinators of our transportation services. Families also need in-person interaction with our transportation department for assistance and registration. On a regular basis, our nutrition services staff interact with each other and with families at the Emory Grover building. There are meetings with cafeteria managers and families, the daily processing of cash register sales, and assisting families with submission of the federal free or reduced lunch applications. And of course, training and planning around meal service for our students. Student support service meetings take place between staff and parents and between the staff all of the time. Here we facilitate special education programming, we save data and records, and we discuss legal matters. These in-person meetings complement other student service functions that are conducted online or by phone or in the buildings. Students' confidential files are housed here regarding service, and of course we are required to preserve, in many cases, original records for several years. In the financial operations area, we have staff including bookkeepers, accounts payable, accounts receivable, and our assistant superintendent for finance and operations working to plan for budgeting and expending cash and funds. Regular meetings are always held with our bookkeepers from the schools and our clerical staff for the oversight of all processes. Contracts, purchase documentation, payment records, grants, claims, etc. All of these financial operations take place in person. Some of this work is done online, but folks need to meet together, plan together, so that we can make sure that we are handling all of our financial operations in a transparent, thoughtful, and legal way. Document retention is also a unique governmental burden that we need to pay attention to and plan for. The Needham Community Education staff is engaged with families who have an interest or concern about participation in Needham Community Education programs, either for themselves or for their children. Here is the place where we plan the programs. The programs themselves really take place in other areas of the community, but here is the hub of where the staff comes together to plan those wonderful programs for the community. We end our tour here in the superintendent's office, where district administrators, school committee members, and many others gather to lead the district's schools and programs. I believe K-12 education is a people business in which teachers and administrators interact with families and students on a face-to-face basis, engage in hands-on collaboration with colleagues, and address basic human and emotional needs. All the district's administrative and operational functions involve in-person interaction in order to meet the needs of families and students. Here within this building, we manage an $86 million school budget, address sensitive family and personnel issues, organize and arrange for the transportation and nutrition of over 5,700 students, and we welcome new families to our community. But the most important thing that we do here is to plan for our students' education and achievement. We plan for this community's future. It's finally time for this community to make a decision about school administration and operations. It's time to make a decision about this building, which has anchored the north end of the town center for over 120 years, standing as a symbol of the community's ongoing commitment to its children and the community's vitality and well-being. Thank you.